Welcome to another Quantum Conversation, brought to you by AcousticHealth.com. I'm Loren Gailey, and I invite you to sit back as we enter the quantum realm, that space of the greater part of you. It is your connection to infinite possibilities, infinite potential, and infinite mastery. In this episode, we are talking about reclaiming our sacred sexual hearts. My guest today has a doctorate in sacred sexuality and higher consciousness, and she is here to share with us how she herself has resurrected her sacred sexual heart. Eivor Johansson is here with us today, and I want to welcome her to Quantum Conversations. Eivor, welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Lauren. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here and to be able to reach your audience, your faithful audience. Yes, I'm really grateful to be here. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, well, thank you. This is a topic that may cause some to have a blush in their cheeks, but we're taking this to a higher level because this is really about embodying our divinity. And this is more about cosmic orgasms, if you will, life force energy that moves through our physical form, and it moves through the heart space. So you have a doctorate in this. My goodness, here's the interesting thing as well. You have been celibate for 11 years, and yet we're talking sacred sexuality. Share with us this aspect of yourself, because it is something, again, you don't suggest that others do it, but on an ascension path, an embodiment path, we do learn of way showers that do go celibate. And there's twin flame energy that we can talk about in this show as well. But this is a bigger experience of sacred sexual heart than just what we know from physical sexuality.
Yeah. I'm an indigo child. I felt from early on that I was groomed for service. And early on, Lauren, I saw glimpses of myself as a healer very early on. At the age of 5, I had such a deep longing for a divine love connection. It was a feeling. It was something that I never really understood until much, much later in life. But that divine love connection was all about myself, of course, about finding the truth inside of me, that self-love. Then I went through my teenage years, 20s, 30s, 40s, and so on, having relationships with my partners, with men. And Lauren, I could never really feel 100% together within the sexual arena. I always felt that something was missing. I felt, for me, even though I have always been physically very active, I felt that it was not all about that physical part in me. So what I did with my last boyfriend, I have never had a better sexual and heartfelt experience with anybody than him. However, I felt that a piece inside of me was totally missing. So, and that was 11 years ago. Mm-hmm. I knew within that I could not keep repeating the same patterns that I had endured inside myself, not just with my partner, but inside. So I went on this treasure hunt, as it were, and really wanted to find out more about me. And the more and deeper down I dived inside of me, the more I found out about myself in general, of course, but specifically about my sexuality. The cellular soul memories from many incarnations were so deep rooted inside of me, and I had to deal with that in order to come through all the dumbing down programs, sexual programming, and the defiling of the that part in me, that after all these years, I have made an incredible journey of going through and facing all those memories of past lives to be able to come out and free myself from the entanglement of that not only personal but collective consciousness grid that has ravished my life, and be able to come through it and set myself free.
Beautiful. So you've set yourself free, and we're going to talk more about this so that we can really put a definition to a cosmic orgasm, and we're going to talk about male and female energies as well. It's a cosmic and a physical orgasm, and it's really, again, embodiment, right, of the purest source. Can you share more about this process?
Yeah, absolutely. The process is not specific, I feel, for the sexual meeting of two energies, male and female. It is multiplied in all areas. The principle of it exists in all areas of our lives. Specifically, what I have found out with life in general, and specifically for the sexual part in me, is that when two energies, male and female, joins in, there is a third presence being born. And that third presence is something that I have always tried to control, with my life in general, and specifically in my sexual life. And it got to be so exhausting that I feel now, being on the other side, I have always controlled it with fear, guilt, shame, and or sadness and inadequacies, or overdoing it or underdoing it, passive or aggressive, or many different colors and emotional colors involved in it, that third presence that is born through the male and female energies, whether it's heterosexual, homosexual, whatever form it comes in, that must be left alone, because what happens is, Lauren, when you leave that presence alone, it knows what to do. It will take you on the journey. You don't take it. So what that translates to sexually is that it gives birth to a higher dimension when you leave it alone. It knows where to go in the body. You don't have to direct it. When I was a little less experienced than I am today, I tried to guide it, but it doesn't want to be guided. It knows what to do. It's an intelligence that is of the highest kind. It's the consciousness of it is something that must be left alone. It is God. It is the universal consciousness, cosmic intelligence. It is God. And it needs not to be meddled with. It knows what to do.
Okay, so share with us from your experience of just letting it be. What happens in your body or in your consciousness?
Yeah. So first, I have to allow the energy, the Kundalini energy that actually comes from the center of the earth in through our bodies, through our root chakra, with the intention of the co-creation of male-female sexual dance. It guides itself up. Now, let me talk about the cosmic orgasm. So it guides itself up through the root chakra, through the sacral chakra, moves up to the solar plexus, heart, goes through the thigh chakra, where it actually just feathers out and around the 13th chakras and come back. This is where we can assist it just a little bit. When it hits the thymus chakra, we can angle it back into a 90-degree angle, backwards and up through, feather it over the 13 chakras back into the thymus in the front, and allow the energies just to keep spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning. It moves by itself. It has nothing to do with touching yourself. It happens, it's a cosmic orgasm that moves by itself. It has nothing to do with an anatomical orgasm. It is a physical, energetic orgasm without the sexual anatomical part. That orgasm is, the feeling is like being a part of the stars, the different universes, the sun and the moon. It's an incredible God-like experience when it is harnessed and anchored in correctly into the body with the right intention. That is the cosmic orgasm. Then it can be co-created with the physical part. The physical orgasm, once it starts to rise from the deep down from the pelvic area and up, guided through the different chakras, through the heart, together with the cosmic orgasm, and then hold it and wait just a little bit and allow it to dance with you. That in itself. And then you do what you need to do. If you want to release the physical part, you can do that, or end the spiritual part of it, or hold it in. There are many ancient practices of tantric sex, for example, where you held it inside. I say, do what it is that your higher self is guiding you to do, to have that godlike experience that will take you and cleanse and clear and resurrect all of the energies inside of you, and take you up to a higher understanding, a higher level of yourself and higher consciousness.
Okay. All right. Well, then we're going to do a little process here. Okay. Don't be frightened, everyone. I know I could hear this collective group of going, what? What are we going to do?
Well,
we're not going to get so crazy. This is a PG-rated show. No, I'm just kidding, everyone. Not to get red in the face. I know when I first met with Eivor, I was a little, apprehensive myself. But what we're going to do now in a process is to really work. I think we should work with clearing the pathways that you discussed here, the root, the sacral, the solar plexus, because that is a place where the cellular memory that you experienced, that you had to work through, that's where some of our programs and belief systems and the shame and any guilt or any healing that needs to be done, it would be in those areas. So can you explain a little bit about that, what we could experience there?
Yeah, absolutely. It has been the hardest to, of all the energies that we as on a personal level and collective level, like I mentioned before, to harness and anchor incorrectly, because I feel and believe that we haven't been ready, because it's been mixed up and mixed in with so much programming of guilt and shame, and that it wasn't ready to be to be done in the most sacred way. In order, Lauren, to be able to allow the flow to come through, the victimhood of sexuality and survival that sits in the root chakra must be cleared out. And this is something that we collectively have done for, specifically for this past several years. What sits in there is shame and guilt and anger. I remember, Lauren, when I first started to take a look at all this, I had so much of everything sitting there, of shame. I was shameful of my body. I had so much guilt in being a woman and wanting to feel this beautiful female body that I had chosen this lifetime. And traveling up through the sacral chakra, all relationships are sitting there. The creativity is sitting there. That too must be cleared up for the energy to be free. The energy also helps and assists the clearing of the fears and anxiety that sits in the sacral chakra. But today we have done that for several years, and we are ready to embrace this beautiful part of us that has to do with passion, and it has to do with sensuality, and it has to do with being able to allow ourselves to feel our bodies the way they were originally meant to be. The original sin was handed down to us, and we were left tens and tens of thousands of years ago with giving birth in that lower part of ourselves, and to have a physical orgasm, and that was all there was to it. That's all we were left with. It's not like that today. Today we have an opportunity to really discover and to embrace and to love ourselves in that area. There is still so much that we don't talk about with each other in confidence, with friends, or if we talk to families about it. But I am here to say to you all that are listening, if I can do this, then you can do it too. We can put it up on the table and say, this is ours. This is the birthright that we have, to be able to allow ourselves to have this beautiful energy running and moving through our bodies. We must magnetize and help ourselves to demagnetize the sexual charge that is in our cellular memories, soul memories from many, many, many lives. And little by little, by just saying yes to it and allow the mind to release the hold onto it and the programming from families, from perhaps religion, from schools, from society, whatever it is, this is our time to totally let that go and allow the body to feel what it feels without we fearing of this beautiful sexual feelings. Then going up to the third chakra, which is the solar plexus, we must grab hold of it. Can't just let it run our lives. That's where the will sits, and we must, I feel, have the will and the courage to grab onto it and say, this is me. I was hiding for many years because I was embarrassed about what I was feeling sexually, knowing that I have a tremendous sexual energy through my body, but I didn't know what to do with it. I didn't know how to translate it. I didn't have the tools at all. And in my with my clients, it is one of the most difficult areas to even talk about, to even say, I'm not good at this because I feel this, this, and that. There's so much pain in the sexual organs with so many people. I myself came through a vaginal canal that was very damaged, and I had to clear that up as well. So it's many different layers and levels, and I want to say this to everybody, Lauren, and don't be afraid. Have the courage to feel what's there. It's all part of the lessons of growing up, growing within yourself, of self-care, self-respect, and self-love, the highest love of all. And to love your sexual self wasn't easy for me, but I did it because I really wanted it.
Yes.
Once those,
Go ahead.
Once those first three lower chakras are being cleared up, the energy is so much easier to move through your heart up to the thymus, throat chakra, so we can talk about it. The sacral chakra, with relationships and creativity as an example, is directly connected to the throat chakra. So if we cannot talk about our sexuality, it's because the second chakra, sacral chakra, is not fully cleared. That's how easy it is. Once the root chakra of being a victim, sexual victim, for example, is cleared, then the seventh crown chakra will also be easily moved through up to all the chakras above, 13 and over. Go ahead.
Well, it's interesting that the energy will not move if we have this cellular memory still lodged in the body, right? So, I mean, what would happen? The energy doesn't move because what? Do our thoughts go somewhere? Is that really what's happening, or we're uptight?
The mind cuts through the layers and say, you can't do this, you can't do that. It references the perhaps the religion. It references you can't have sex this way or that way. What's wrong with you? Then there are rape victims. So the sexuality for a rape victim is so damaged that perhaps it's better to just file it away for a rainy day, but that rainy day, it may come or it may not. Today we are asked from a universal consciousness, from a higher consciousness, to truly embrace it and take care of it, no matter what it is, no matter what's there. It is on a personal level, yes, but it also sits collectively. So it's not just you and me, Lauren, it's everybody. Everybody. And we need to help each other to talk about it openly so that we can demagnetize the charge, so it does not become something we cannot talk about because it's something you do behind closed doors with somebody else. And I agree. It's sacred and it's beautiful with somebody else behind closed doors. But as far as all the problems that we gathered through the years, or eons of times and incarnations, this is our time to come through it. Otherwise, we just keep leaving it and putting it to the side and clearing all the other areas of our lives, except the sexual part that we really choose not to talk about. No, it needs to be done.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, we're going to do a process with you to clear the root, the sacral, and the solar plexus, and that'll be wonderful. And then we're going to talk about, when we come back from that, we'll talk about how this accesses higher consciousness and helps all areas of our life. Okay.
Okay, I'm going to ask us all to take 3 deep breaths in and out through the lowest part of our pelvic area. So here we go. Okay, so an inhale and exhale 3 times. And release. Just let it go. And release. And allow yourself to feel a warm liquid in the lowest part of your pelvic area. And if you feel sensations, let them be. Allow your body the freedom to feel what it feels. We have that warm liquid moving through the root chakra. And inhale and exhale comfortably and let it move. It's almost like going on a journey in a beautiful, beautiful, pleasant, the most pleasant part of ourselves, our hearts. The heartfelt journey moving through the sacral chakra. Allow yourself to feel what you feel, see the colors, feel the beautiful music, and the dance of life. Allow the energy to clear out in the sacral chakra all those memories, cellular memories of any and all kinds of sexual experiences, pleasurable and specifically the ones that were difficult. Just allow it to just sit there for a little while and just move back and forth like a wave. And then take that wave with you and the liquid that still is warm and move it up through the solar plexus. Here is where we stay just for a little while to decide to not just survive with our sexuality or sexual selves, but here is where we grab onto it and own it. And the will to master the energy, the frequency Here is where we decide what I have experienced is not enough. I want more. I want all of me. I want all of me. I want to embrace in this area the dark side of me as well as the light inside of me. To embrace both, coming into union of one, the dark and the light together, moving up to the heart chakra. Here's where we celebrate, going up through the thymus. This is where the soul truly is at home. This is home. Then we go up to the throat chakra. Here's where we talk about it. Here's where we allow ourselves to acknowledge and admit in words what it is that has worked and it doesn't work. Here is where we have the courage to tell the truth. And let's continue with the warm liquid through the pineal gland, third eye. This is how we then connect with our higher consciousness. 5, 6, 7, 8. And all of you who are on the call today, I believe you all are here for the highest purpose of yourself and the mission to be able to embrace that energy of going out. So we need the 6th and 7th dimension, moving through the crown chakra up to the 8th dimension and over, and for it to come loop back down again in an infinite loop back down through your body, back into the bottom of your pelvic area and all the way down through the grounding cord into the very center of the earth, Mother Earth, Divine Mother of all life. I'm deep inside your womb where I can know nothing and be reborn anew. Divine Mother of all lives, I'm deep inside your womb where I can know nothing and be reborn anew. Divine Mother of all life, deep inside your womb where I can know nothing and be reborn anew. Amen, amen, and amen.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. We are feeling the high vibrations and connection to our higher self and the oneness. Very interesting. I'd love for anyone to share what they witnessed as that processed through the various chakras. It was very interesting the root chakra for me. So very, very interesting on a personal level. Okay, so that was a beautiful healing, and just to be in that and let it go and release it was very powerful. So this allows the energy to flow freer, and as individuals work with this in their own lives, we'll start to see confidence, courage, solutions, because we are part of a wholeness now. There's a wholeness. It's almost like soul evolution or soul fragment collection here, coming back into the wholeness.
Possibilities, possibilities. There is not one way. Your way is very, very specific for you. Allow it for you. Your piece of the cosmic puzzle is incredibly important. Take the responsibilities of feeling you. Embrace all of what you are. The shadow and the enlightened part in you. It's all you, part of your Christ, God consciousness, and God self. Opening up for this incredible opportunity that we have in clearing out all areas of our lives. Emotional, mental, sexual, financial, whatever it is that's sitting there, that's been waiting for you. Universe is there to support your incredible success of self-mastery, self-respect, and self-love. Take the responsibilities to feel who you are. It is such a joy. It's magic. It's beautiful, and it's fun. And it's not as difficult as we have thought it to be. Being on the other side, Lauren, I say to myself today, wow, it's not, I thought it was so difficult. I thought it was this way and that way. The perception was so tainted. Not that way.
Really becoming whole again, and it's interesting, the sacred heart, and you term it the sacred sexual heart.
Yes.
It is life force energy, and it gets stuck with the cellular memories of the trauma and past life programming that really is being cleared out. And so yes, this connects us. It gives us the courage. It really is embodiment of the higher self. When we talk about male and female energies, that's really what you're doing, is you're weaving them together within yourself, your body, and that creates a third party, which you've said is God. And that's the divine intelligence that guides us.
Correct. Sexually, emotionally, mentally, financially, and otherwise, it's there. There is nothing that we have to do more than show up.
Okay, beautiful. This is a fascinating discussion, and I invite listeners to ask their questions.
Mm-hmm.
And you work with individuals to reclaim their sacred sexual heart. Can you share a little bit about what you go through when you work one-on-one with clients?
Most of my clients come in with sexual traumas and dramas that are extremely severe. I don't only work with the sexuality. I work on all levels, and but since I have chosen to acknowledge my sexuality, it naturally segues. My clients feel very supported and open to talk about it, as well as their financial problems that sometimes have been connected to the sexuality and financial part together.
Interesting.
Yeah, it could be any addiction with foods, overeating, undereating. If you have if you don't have a clear acknowledgement of your sexuality, that's where it could stop you. That you could be overeating or undereating, yes, and you could also have. My clients could also have. They've been raped or taken advantage of. It's every facet. Any type of problems could be a part of a depressed sexuality. I mean, after all, it sits in the sacral chakra, and it's connected to everything else. You want to explore more of your creativity, but you cannot release it. Why? Because there is also your sexuality sitting there, and both needs to be cleared. So that's another something else that is also up on the table with my clients. Always when I work with my clients, we have actually a really great time because I actually know and feel that in order to demagnetize the weight of it, the only way to do that is to go straight into it and kind of, what's the big deal here? What's the big deal? Trauma and drama is a part of it, and pain, yes. And I do acknowledge the pain because I have had tremendous pain in my body. One part of the offering that I'm making to all of you who are listening is I show my body, and I don't show my body for self-promotion. I am actually showing you my body because I was totally and utterly plagued by my pain, including my sexual pain in my body. And today, at the age of 63, it's the first time I'm actually showing my body because I am free.
You are free indeed. I wish we had that photo up to show folks. It is beautiful. If you don't mind, I may take it. Well, we'll talk about this offline because that might be a new one for you. To take a photo of you, it's beautiful. You are standing in how do you describe that photo? High heels, and you are totally owning the sensuality and
Yeah.
showing the proudness you have of your physical form.
Yeah,
So it's beautiful.
thank you. I actually love to go to the gym, and I said to myself, I'm going to do that. I'm going to dress up in my gym clothes, but then I also have the other aspect of me is that feminine, sensuous part in me, and I want it to be this way. So yeah, oh, uh, it's been a journey, Lauren, and I am so happy I had the courage to go through it, and I encourage all of you who are listening to grab onto your physical bodies, because heaven on earth is not out there. It is inside your physical body. And it has to do with bringing in your higher spirit into the physical body. In order to do that, we must clear it out. Otherwise, it does not have a chance. And I encourage, inspire, and empower all of you to use your solar plexus will to go in there and really make it happen. It is fun, and it's joyful, and it's magical. Yeah, those
Yes.
pictures, I show them because if I can move through every part of myself that were so dormant and so plagued with you cannot do, everybody can do it, Laura.
Everybody can do it. We're actually starting to see the collective consciousness work through this issue on a greater scale. We have the Me Too campaign, which when you look at it, I've shared this with some of my closest male and female friends, and I think most of my female friends can look at a point in their life when we have something to raise our hand and say, me too, right? Whether it was an unwanted kiss or something simple, or even maybe the way we were treated. But we see this on the collective, so I'm interested in your thoughts on this. How can we truly heal this? It's healing.
This journey started inside of me, Lauren, when I said, no, this doesn't feel right, my sexuality 11 years ago. This does not feel right. This, then referring to Me Too campaign, this doesn't feel right sexually. This kiss did not feel good. I had the guts to say no. And I, as an empath, as an indigo, as a super passionate person, people pleaser, I wanted to be loved. I wanted to have this people around me to love me. So I created a phony persona where I made people love me, but not because they wanted to. It's because I controlled it so much so that it was all, I didn't say no. I took it on. I split off my identity many times and left soul fractions and soul pieces to each and everybody. till I came to the part, the crossroad of being prompted from my higher self to sit in this valley of shadows of death for many years, to clear it out, to say no. This is not me. When you say no, this is not me, you know that you're saying yes to you. And saying yes to you is the highest part that you can do. No, the Me Too campaign and saying no, it doesn't feel right on any and all levels. Whether it is to be able to stand alone in this world, I take a risk. I take a risk to lose it all, to be able to win that part in me that is my heart, and that is God. Amen.
Amen.
Mm.
Really, embodiment
Yes.
of the higher self is
Yes.
what occurs when we reclaim the sacred heart, the sacred sexual heart. We can term that word sensual for anyone with a program that disrupts that or that needs healing or overcoming. But I want to recap for those who may have joined us in the middle of this conversation, again, that we've been talking about this cosmic orgasm, which really is embodiment of our higher self, the mixing of the male-female energies, and the allowing of the third energy that comes from this. Yes, the third presence to be in our body. You've helped many of us here, and I love that you do this in your own reclamation, which was your decision to go celibate 11 years ago. And again, we've shared this, we've heard from other Ascension pathway showers who've shared that celibacy is what they do, and even the yogis and the Hindus come into a celibate. Even if they're married, they get to a point where celibacy is their relationship, but it comes from such a deeper, higher consciousness level, the connection of the love that is shared with the couple.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think it is so important, Lauren, to not sell off any part of ourselves ever again. Ever again.
Yes.
I for sure did it on every level, including my sexual self, knowing, but I wasn't fully aware, but with the feeling that I walked away and was just halfway there or not even. It's not like that anymore. No.
Hallelujah.
Yeah.
Finding the truth inside, and it really is self-love.
The highest love of all. And that's a must, to love, and to be spiritually selfish and just focus. The Me Too campaign, Lauren, is all about saying no. Go inside. Stay inside and enjoy that journey and feel, and feel some more, and then some.
Yes, this is the processing and the inner work that leads us to a beautiful, magical space of higher consciousness. Wonderful. I really want to thank you for the work that you do. You have a personal session in your special offer that you work with people one-on-one, and it is late where you are. It is 1 in the morning, my dear. You are in Sweden, but I want to give you a quick moment to share a little bit about the contents of your special offer.
Okay. So yes, it's I offer 45 minutes of my time, and I would love to have you there. Love, love, love to have you there and meet with you and co-create what it is that we need to do. And it does not necessarily have to be on a sexual level at all. I embrace all levels. I have included know thyself from human shadows to ascended mastery. That's my thesis. And I want to give you a bird's eye view of the soul's journey that I myself see when I have you in front of me. I see it in sacred geometry, and I see where, if you have any broken links in your matrix, and I will then assist you leverage that and to an immediate transformation down into a cellular level, alchemical cellular level, to be able to help you, assist you to transform and converge your old self, carbon-based DNA, into the crystalline-based DNA, where there is freedom. And that is on all levels. Then I have included my PhD, Sacred Sexuality Leading to Higher Consciousness. It's my academic research and my own experiences. It has nothing to do with techniques or sexual anatomical suggestions. I leave that to you. What I do is I guide you towards it, and then you are free to paint your own picture within that vibrational tool that I allow you to experience. Yeah, I have 3 books in the lined up to be released on Kindle, self-publishing, Amazon. The first one is My Human Blueprint. It is a Renaissance coming-of-age story of my indigo self, beginning of this life, and how I chose my parents, my family, and had enormous negative, from a soul perspective, experiences, walked through all the shame and guilt and fears and all of that, to then at one point, just in time for Saturn return, the planet Saturn return at the age of 27, going to the U.S. and staying for 30 years in New York City, and I went to Florida a few times. Then coming back here temporarily for a few years, where I actually was sitting in the dark night of the soul, like I mentioned before to you, for several years. That's the one of the books that the 22 first people that buy the package will get to enjoy. The second book is based on my thesis, Know Thyself, and then the third book is my Sexual Highway to God, based on the PhD. So that is what I offer. I'm looking forward, and I'm so excited to meet all of you and have a good time sharing with you what it is that is blocking you, where it stops in the energy flow and why it does. And like I said, necessary doesn't have to be the sexual, anything in particular sexually, but in whatever area, mental, emotional, anger, sadness, guilt, shame, financial, whatever it is, I'm there.
You are there. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's a beautiful way for people to really connect inside and do this deeper work. And again, amazing how you wouldn't think that your financial issues could be tied to blocks in sexuality or other areas, but we can see how, with it being such a taboo subject, you know, on one hand, it's some may be very taboo or feel taboo, but on the other hand, I guess the physical side of sexuality in our movies and television shows, right? That's just not the proper presentation of what we're talking about here. So I can see how that matrix needs to truly be unraveled from within our cellular structure.
Yeah, and what I want to, before we close, Lauren, I would like to read something, and it has to do with embracing the part in you, the shadow self, that needs to be embraced in a deeper sense than you perhaps can imagine. If you cannot love that part in you, that the part in you, the shadow self, and that polarity of yourself, you cannot have one without the other. Now collectively, we have experienced one spectrum of it. It's time for us to embrace this, come around and embrace the totality. We have come full circle. This is it. This is it. It's showtime.
Game on, baby. It is showtime. Yes, embrace all aspects of ourself and embodiment of our higher self and letting go of all of those old programs. Eivor, we should call you Doctor of Sacred Sexuality. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'll direct our listeners to your special offer so they can check that out. And my goodness, this has been so beautiful. So thank you for sharing and expanding our consciousness. Yes.
I'd like to be able to read that. So,
oh, yes, please do.
Okay. All right, so here we go. This is what I wrote a few years ago. This is my own reflection. I am the shadow and the enlightened one. Every moment of every day, I feel I am the magical superpowers that are flowing through my beautiful soul, a matrix of infinite probable wave functions and patterns. I am focused and crystal clear about the incredible, rapid, internal changing realizations happening right now. I am and always have been the whole spectrum of polar opposites of all that is, magnetically creating an infinite loop, flipping over, trading places, forever changing. I own it, I feel it, and I love both ends of my spectrum equally, coming together as one thought. Ancient fears and lifetimes of judgments have come to a deep down cellular alchemical change, a feeling of clarity and relief. This is infinitely all that I am. In the silence of my internal self, I hear, see, and feel what is mine to do moment by moment as I listen to the sound, the music coming from my internal and external sphere. I am the shadow follower and the enlightened leader, breathing in and out, accepting of who I am. As my perceived thoughts have shifted once again on the evolutionary spiral, my personal purpose of being is no longer mine, but belongs to all of us. My life and higher mind is my group mind, where intuition, telepathy, and synchronicity are ours to acknowledge for the greater good. I have learned to navigate the truth of my higher mind manifested in my present body of my many souls, intricately woven together as one. This is the infinity that I am. Amen, amen, and amen. Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tsebeot. Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tsebeot. Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tsebeot. The last few 3 sentences is my heart combining all our hearts with the universal hearts and all of the universal hearts. Amen, amen, and amen. And so it is.
And so it is. We will soak in this and absorb those beautiful words, remembering the infinity that we are. Eivor, thank you so much. This is a beautiful, heart-opening, expanding, quantum conversation. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here.
Thank you for who you are, Lauren, and thank all of you for who you are. Beautiful, beautiful beings of love divine. I love you.
We love you.
Thank you. And I love you.
Thank you, too, for listening and sharing in this space today. We leave you now with music from the universe, literally sacred geometry of music, as musical notes were assigned to mathematical equations. The result is this beautiful music, available at acoustichealth.com.